Apollo 11 Houston, we recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay.
We are free! Our overlord Bipoe is out popping the top off some third world country right now, looking for a new home. One of these days, he'll find a nice, cool, dry country that will welcome him as their leader. Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, we're listening to Kickenbeans,
What up?
Dread Pirate,
Dude, I just ate 200 milligrams worth of edibles. It's going to be fun.
nice, and myself, Kain. We got lots of topics today, so let's kick this thing off. What it do, boys?
What
That
it
bombshell.
I feel like it's a race now.
So I just
Who's
ate
been-
200 milligrams worth of edibles.
Whose mental state's gonna break first, ours or his?
Oh, we get to watch it in real time too.
So we got about a good 45 minutes before something starts happening.
Yep, we're gonna look over.
These ones really kind of hit the hardest about like an hour or so into it, and then it's like you just start really feeling it.
Dude, towards the end of the show, we're gonna be looking at it and be like, "How you doing, man?" He's gonna be like, "Terrified."
No, they're not that bad. I ate 200 earlier. It was just fucking
Earlier?
yeah. While I was doing
Buddy!
it's been like a laundry day today for me. I had 3 loads of laundry to do earlier, so I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna eat some edibles. The hurricane just missed us.
That is fair. That is fair.
Oh,
and I
man.
got really into improving my home and once human.
Nice.
I mean, that's definitely a good activity to do when you're high.
I can't
I have
wait
a
for the
brand-
reset.
I have a brand new water system, like water collection system on there with the rainwater collection. So it goes from the top tier, it goes from the rainwater collector to a full tank where it collects the dirty water. And then from there it goes down into 2 different water purifiers. Then from there it goes into freshwater tanks.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited
So
for the wipe because I am gonna take like 2 days off of my real job and just
The wipe?
grind. They wipe the servers every 6 to 8 weeks.
So does that mean that like all of our quest progress is getting wiped too? So we got to start over from the beginning of the story?
Yeah, everyone starts from scratch, and then they're supposed to like change things up a little bit between wipes, which I know you guys weren't addicted to Rust like I was. This is a pretty normal thing. If it was PvP server, it'd be the race to the first people that have good PvP equipment, and then, the hazing begins. Because
Is that how it goes? Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
Rust is like the
do you
purge
do you
on
like get to
wipe.
keep? Do you get to keep like house blueprints normally?
That is something that I'm not sure about. If you have like a saved house blueprint, but you'll be starting from basically zero technology, so it's not like you'll be able to use that blueprint anyway.
That's fair. But thankfully, what I like about the game is that like you never actually, even zero technology is an hour worth of gameplay away from having an assault rifle.
Yeah, you're not like bashing trees with a rock. Although you can do that in that game. I forgot my axe at one point.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had to have the axe equipped the whole time. So
you
like,
actually, have to have it in the hotbar.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I took it off my hotbar and I kept it in my backpack, but I got so far away from my house, or not my backpack, I put it in my storage bin, and I got so far away from my house, and then I went to go fucking like get some silver ore, and next thing you know, I'm like bashing with the rock and getting a message that it's not high enough tier to get the minerals, and I was just like, where did I get a rock from? Where the fuck is my axe?
Yep, that's how it be, man.
I was like, I built 2 of these axes to make sure that if I expend one too far, I have a backup. Where the fuck are they? And then I found out the hard way it has to be in your fucking hotbar box. And I was like, this is stupid. I don't even. You just click on the fucking ore and it does it. It's not like I have to sit here and spam the 9 key the whole fucking time. Why does it have to be in the hotbar box?
Then you actually start attacking something with the pickaxe, and it does like 5 damage.
Yeah, it is. Oh, not good.
No matter what.
You got copper bullets that'll fucking do 100 and some odd damage, but you use a copper pickaxe and it'll only fucking give them a flesh wound.
Which is wild, because if you ever hit somebody with a pickaxe, they're going down hard. Just it doesn't matter what they are. You hit a bear with a pickaxe, it's gonna go down for a second or two before it eats you butthole first.
Oh man. But yeah, Once Human is definitely a different type of game for me. I've never really dabbled too much in the survival style games where you have to really build everything. And so like the server wipe idea sounds fun in theory, but for me is a bit nerve wracking because I'm like, well, what the fuck is the point?
So
I'm
the
kind
point
of with
the point on
kickenbeans
this
on that
one is to get good. The point on the next wipe is to see how fast you can stay good. And then on the third wipe, or be the second wipe, the third iteration, I'm going to try to talk you guys into going to PvP, and that's where the real fun begins. That's where the purge happens in the first 2 weeks of the wipe, where everyone's just being mean to everyone. You got to figure out base rating. Like, next wipe, I am focusing solely on how to defend my base properly.
Yeah, I don't know. My wild days of PvP are fucking behind me. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to deal with that.
I mean, if we could get our whole crew on there to do this together, I think PvP would be a lot of fun.
I think it would be a different
I mean,
conversation for me if we had like a combined stronghold that we could all participate in. But like the fact that we all have to have our own individual houses.
No, I mean technically we could have a combined stronghold. If we just went to the edge of, I feel like if we just went to the edge of our territories and left it open on that edge, they could just do the same thing on the edge of their territory, and we could connect our strongholds.
Yeah, the trick is making sure our strongholds have overlapping fields of fire. So that our strongholds protect our strongholds.
My stronghold's gonna be the fucking like 15-story tower. It's just gonna be like a fucking 12 by 12, but it's just a spiral tower that we can climb up, get to the top, and then fly away.
Sounds like something out of Ari Salvatore books.
So
straight up being Hopper.
So we don't see very many other players on right now, and that
it's also because of the server that we're on.
Yeah,
our server's full though.
It is, but our server's full, but it's a new player server only, and it's 75 people max between 10 worlds per server, and we're on world 8.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's what's going to make PvP fun. Is the game's not going to change too much. It's going to be, we'll be like running around, say we need deer. We'll be running around hunting deer, and somebody will try to ambush us, or we try to ambush other people.
Or we could just go raid their strongholds.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in there now, not a lot of people have really great stronghold like defense capabilities. You go to like me and Scorches. He has set up for good defense. I actually have started my defense on mine. Like I have 4 turrets on the ground level alone already.
I did find out the hard way though that the turrets are one-time use. Like once you place them, you can't pick them back up and move them.
Yeah.
No, the portable turrets are like that, not the turrets for your home.
Yeah, so the portable turrets, which hey, I thought would be fun since you're, portable. I mean, silly me for thinking I could pick them back up and move it again. But no, now I have one that's in a very inopportune spot that like only kills the singular rabbit when it happens to move by because it's fucking angled like this.
Just murders rabbits every once in a while.
Like it's sitting at such a stupid angle that like it auto fucking sighting is stuck at the wrong sphere line.
Nice.
Okay. You gotta put them facing straight. And I also found out I don't think they point down very well. Like the ones you built at your stronghold, you can't put them on the second story and expect them to like attack things on the ground.
Right. Yeah, I found that out also through the portable turret. Does not like to look down.
Okay.
nothing wrong with that. None of us like to look down. We just do because of depression.
I did find out that you could get a very angled pitched roof, like a high angled pitched roof, and put your portable turret on that and force it to look down. But then it's the opposite where it doesn't go out very far.
Yeah, but that could be your last line of defense in the PvP arena.
Exactly. You give yourself a nice circumference around your property.
Oh, yeah. So I'm thinking about hopping in the PvP server just to see what it's like, do a little recon mission. Because it can't just be Rust. Otherwise, everyone would just play Rust. So I'm curious to know if they're gonna have base raids. I'm curious to know if it's just, if you're in your house, are you safe from enemy players, or are you just safe from the environment? And then what does is there like a meeting place for arena? What? Because these servers kind of got to run themselves. So just like how there's random discos, we might have random arena PvPs.
That'd be cool. Again, and then I wonder, what is it going to be? The style of, you could, if you just if that's the time you decide you want to go raid somebody's stronghold, can you?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Is it like the Purge where a alarm sounds and everyone just goes apeshit for 2 hours? Because if so, I'm in.
I'm gonna be walking around like a full fucking Mexican on the Plague Day. I'm gonna just be Molotov and everything.
Right? That's the way to do it.
So you get a Molotov, you get a Molotov, you get a Molotov.
People don't fight back as much when they're on fire.
People don't fight back much when they lose everything.
Very true. All right. Well, talking about things on fire, Olympic live performance. I know Kickenbeans saw it. Have you seen it yet, Dread Pirate?
No.
Gojira played live.
I know they were the band like to open up the Olympics.
So they didn't necessarily, they were part of the opening ceremony. They didn't necessarily open up the beginning of it. They were probably at like, I think the entire ceremony was probably like 4.5 hours or so. I want to say they were at like the hour 45 mark or something like that, because I made it almost 3 hours through it before I just lost attention.
Yeah, they played a 3-minute song. So it wasn't like a full-on concert.
They did a 4.5 minute performance with a beautiful French opera singer, and man, was it fucking magical. They were literally fucking like construction suited, attached to the side of a building, playing their drums and instruments and everything, while this opera singer was on this big fucking like full scale boat just being pushed through the street.
Oh, that's cool.
You gotta look it up, man. It's like
good day, sir.
Like Kane said, it's a 4-minute video or 4.5 minute performance or something like that. But it's a dope video. You should check it out.
Okay. I know a lot of people got super excited about Gojira playing the Olympics at all.
Yeah, I mean,
the whole world just went up and like just loved it.
Yeah, to have that fucking genre be represented like that on such a massive platform. I mean, Gojira has been around for so long, but they're also one of like, I don't want to say they're one of the OG ones, but they're one of the early progressive rock genre makers, in my opinion. And so like, they have a really good audience, but they have a very niche audience. So to see that band get tied into a performance with a full-bore opera singer was so fucking cool.
I mean, for one, I absolutely love any time you put metal instrumentals, drums, guitar, bass, all that stuff with opera style singers. I'm a huge fan. That's why I loved Nightwish back in the day. Why I was a big fan of Flyleaf. Evanescence was okay.
I was waiting for it.
You had all their CDs.
I saw them live, and it has ruined me. It's like the opposite of Papa Roach. I was never a Papa Roach fan until I saw him live.
And for those that are listening, if you've lost track, we're talking about Flyleaf.
Yeah, but fuck Flyleaf. That was a terrible show. All she did was like preach to us about how she's a good Christian and how we should be good. And I was like, play the music. I don't need a 20-minute monologue about how me fucking some hooker is wrong in your view? Like I just don't care. Play the music, get off the stage.
Look, let us live our life one Deadpool day at a time, and you can live your life one fake Jesus cry at a time.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I've even seen Christian bands who didn't preach that much when they played. POD Christian band did not preach on stage.
Lamb of God is a Christian band. I found that out last year. It blew my mind.
Yeah. I remember Kane and I having that conversation when he found out, and I went down a fucking rabbit hole to try and like not accept this fact, and like I searched myself out of proving myself wrong.
So are they Christian and in a band, or are they a Christian band?
No, they are marketed in Christian circles as a Christian band. They are played at churches.
They don't market themselves as a Christian band, but they don't stop any marketing that's done for them in that genre field because it's another avenue of audience members for them. But the band themselves is more of a spiritual. Like if you needed to label them with some sort of religion or something like that, they are more spiritual than anything else.
Okay.
But they don't cuss in their music. They don't say like insanely profane things or anything like that. So because of the way that they write their lyrics and their music, like they hit all the markers for Christian rock, and they don't stop anybody from labeling them that.
Okay, then.
So very much like POD.
Yep, that sounds about right. Sounds about on par.
But yeah,
Okay, I love it. I think POD is dope too.
check it out. Try to find one with good audio, because a lot of the original recording that I saw, because I watched it live, had good audio, but like every 15 or 20 seconds, some bullshit newscaster had to say something. So
yeah, I got so mad.
you want to find one with good audio that's not got telecast on it.
Okay.
I think I'll have to double check, but I believe the Gojira YouTube channel, they have a snippet of their performance where it's just live audio without any telecast on it on top of it.
Okay. I'll have to look into that one.
But such a good show.
Yeah, it was
good for them, man. It's not, and who'd ever thought you'd see a heavier rock band opening for an Olympic event? And not just that, Gojira, who's, while been around a long time, is definitely nowhere near one of the biggest ones or the most popular ones. Or even one that a lot of rock fans don't even know about.
I'm kind of happy about that, because that means their tickets are cheap. Because
they're one of the few bands I can go see at Red Rocks and not break the bank.
Yeah, like if they're playing, I'm
That's
like,
fair.
oh, this will be like $100. I'm gonna go get some good seats if they're at a club.
Yeah.
It's like when I went and saw Head PE, I think I paid $8 for that ticket, and it was glorious.
Those days are long gone.
No, Head PE, you can still go get cheap stuff, but Head PE has not been relevant in a long time.
But this was like 3 years ago. This wasn't that long ago.
They just they're going on tour again this year. I don't know if they already did or they're about to.
That's fair.
I know at some point they're touring.
It's fucking
At
August,
some point,
boys.
they're still active.
Yeah, it's fucking
Where
August.
the fuck is this year gone, man? Holy shit.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
you got to check it out.
I will.
I mean, shit, like, what, 2 years ago now when we were in New Orleans for Kane's bachelor party, we happened to, like, make our way to a random fucking metal show, and even that was $10 a head just to get in to see this fucking, like, dive bar metal band, and, like, 1 out of the 3 was okay.
I was gonna say opener was great, closer was great. That middle band, they needed some
Garbage.
love.
It sucked.
Yeah, they were definitely the local band.
That's the thing, is they weren't the local band. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, but it's like Tool. Like, anytime you go see the band Tool, they always have a shitty fucking opener. With the exception of this last tour, not in the fucking States, they had one of my favorite fucking bands be their opener, and I'm so pissed that they're not doing that in the US.
Ooh,
Night Verses.
no idea
Fair.
who that is.
Don't expect you to know who they are because they're it's a 3-piece band.
Uh-huh.
The musicians themselves individually are very profound in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
but the band themselves, Night Verses, is not very popular. So like for them to be an opener for Tool in their European tour dates, like my partner and I really considered like going to Europe just to go see them live, just to see Night Versus and Tool play together. But like, I'm so mad that it's not the same stateside.
I just want to go see
Aw.
Tool again. I haven't
I mean,
seen Tool since high school.
they come here once a year.
We gotta plan that.
I have never seen Tool, and I don't know if I want to. But
Oh,
So good.
I'm not a fan of Tool.
They are
Oh.
not as, at least the show that I went to, they're not as album correct. It's a lot
No.
more of a metal / punk show than it is a Tool album show.
I will
Mhm.
agree with that, but I will also counter the punk side of it because they're not energetic on stage. Like Maynard moves around on stage. The guitarist and the bassist, like their feet are glued wherever they fucking start.
Dude, they're just
And
trying to
that's
keep
what-
up
moves
with the
around.
drummer.
And that's what it is, man. I've heard from so many different people that while they love the music, there's no energy coming from the band on stage. And that's what is the main reason that I don't know if I want to see them. I'm not, because they're expensive, and I like live music I see having some levels of energy coming from the stage other than the sounds.
I get what you're saying, but I will argue it because there is some
Mhm.
fucking energy at a Tool show.
Yeah.
But is it from the crowd or is it from the performers?
Yes.
It's the music definitely drives the energy. The music definitely
Yeah.
drives the energy.
Okay.
It's
Which
like
is coming
going
from the
to
musicians.
it's like going to that Slipknot concert we went to last, where they didn't move around too much, but the energy of that concert was really good.
I was about to say the last time I saw Slipknot, like it was a shit show on stage and off stage.
This stage wasn't big enough, and Volbeat opened for him. It kind of ruined the mood.
Volbeat fucked the whole thing up.
Volbeat,
It fucked the whole energy up.
In fact,
Did it go-
Gojira was the first opener.
Was it Gojira who opened?
We saw
I'm gonna go on.
Gojira, Volbeat, and then Slipknot in that order.
For me, it was Avenged Sevenfold, Volbeat, and then Metallica.
Yeah, no, Volbeat.
Like,
They need their own show. They need their
Volbeat
own
needs
show.
to
with-
headline or stay the fucking home in the
Yeah.
studio.
They
Or
don't need
open.
to be sandwiched in between two heavy metal bands. They brought the energy so far down. You looked around, nobody was standing anymore for Slipknot to come up there. It's like,
It took like
Like-
2 songs for everybody to catch back up to the fact that they were at a fucking Slipknot show.
Dude, when I went to that Metallica show and Avenged Sevenfold was the opener, I was surprised by how many people were around me that didn't know Avenged Sevenfold. Like, I forget it, they didn't know Avenged Sevenfold or Volbeat, so fair. But
Fair.
by the end of the set for Avenged Sevenfold, everybody that didn't know them was on their feet, fucking headbanging and like really fucking enjoying it. Like the energy was so fucking high that like, holy shit, if that was the opener, this is only gonna fucking go uphill from here.
and I don't care what nobody says. Avenged Sevenfold is a great band live. They're so
they
much fun to
fuck on
see.
stage.
Yeah,
They
there
fuck.
no complaints about Avenged Sevenfold on stage. Their last 2 albums, I have a lot of complaints about, but I'll still go see them live.
Their last album, I have a lot of issues on, and I'm a huge A7X fan, so like that can be its own tangent.
I saw
But-
they asked with Hollywood Undead years ago. That whole concert
They-
was high as fuck energy and such a great show.
Hollywood Undead, yeah, their last 2 albums I'm not a fan of either. In their apology
Yeah.
tour.
I haven't been a fan of Hollywood Undead since like fucking 2010.
I
Yeah,
think this was about
the cutoff.
2010 or
Yeah.
11 when I saw him.
But yeah, so like everybody in this fucking stadium was so hyped from that opening set of Avenged Sevenfold, and then here come these fucking clowns, Like these Kiss wannabe looking motherfuckers
These
walk out on
millionaires.
stage, literally in fucking platform shoes, just like Kiss, and then play
Oh.
this fucking slow Southern dad rock that
Are we on Volbeat
really
now?
put everybody, yeah,
With-
that really just fucking put everybody in their seats and was like looking around, and it's fucking crickets in the stadium as far as the fans go as soon as they start playing. And like the only people that I see up on their feet are the people at GA because they just don't have seats.
I have this theory that the lead singer of Volbeat doesn't know how to pronounce consonants. It's just
If anything, you just reinforce my statement of Southern dad rock.
yeah. There's no consonants in that speech. Maybe an opening letter.
That's like fucking Seether back in the early 2000s. Like everything.
Yeah.
What you got against
Seether
No, I
got
love
good.
Seether.
Seether got good.
I love Seether, but that's why I specifically say like the early 2000s.
Okay.
Like when they first started like getting traction in their popularity, like
it was after
that
that song Remedy hit, like slapped hard.
yeah, like old Seether, early Creed, like that entire era of like rock music that came out at that time was just very in that let's just drown out a consonant.
Yeah.
Let's just elongate everything.
I think that's what the kids these days call dad rock now.
That's why I use that phrase.
Okay, yeah. Like them, even Buck Cherry.
Dude, fuck Buck Cherry. I have nothing against them personally. I just not a fan of their music. I got one of my younger coworkers called Korn dad rock the other day, and I almost slapped a bitch. like the backhand came up.
People are calling Slipknot dad rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dad rock.
I'm gonna put him in some headphones.
In the early like the rock and roll that came out in the late '90s, early 2000s was what they're calling dad rock. No matter how grungy it is,
I'm gonna put him in some
grunge is part of
headphones.
it.
I'm gonna put him in some headphones and just play the Iowa album start to finish. And just be like, dad rock, sure. Are your ears bleeding yet?
I mean, it's funny. Like when I go on a motorcycle ride and I have my fucking music blaring and I'm cruising through the city, like the only people I see bopping their heads next to me are literally fucking dads.
Nice.
It's not our fault. Our music taste is way better than the new generations.
For me, yeah.
It's just different. We've become those old people that are like, what is this noise?
I mean, I do like most new music, but I mean, my own personal taste, I've leaned heavy into a lot more instrumentals. I'm getting a lot away from a lot of vocal stuff.
I'm on a K-pop kick, so I have nothing to say.
You're on a K-pop
You don't
kick.
even know what they're saying.
I know enough Korean to kind of understand what's going on. I lived there for a year and a half. I could kind of get it. As long as I don't get to like Korean soaps, you guys, I'm good. If I start talking about Korean soap operas, I'm gonna need one of you to pull me out of this hole.
I will give you the backhand. I would just walk in through your front door like this.
I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely gotten into a couple of Korean like horror shows lately. Well, not lately. Like a few months back, I had a kick for like a month.
They're good. They're good.
They are good. You just got to get over the fact that the words and the mouths don't match.
Well, never. You've seen old Godzilla movies. By the way, Mothra versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Mothra?
Godzilla versus Mothra.
No, Mothra versus Godzilla. Mothra's the challenger.
I'm on Dread Pirate here. Godzilla versus Mothra was the better movie. But now I know. Now I know. So we got a Godzilla movie thing we got to do.
Yes, I didn't realize that was the context you were going with.
They're just like, no, Godzilla, the home team, baby.
You spoke. Yeah. You spoke without speaking there, kicking beans.
That's fine. I'll stand behind it.
If you know, you know.
I'll argue to argue. I'll say the dumb shit and stick with it.
Have you seen all the? Speaking of, have you seen all of the new Godzilla like stuff that's come out recently?
Not the animated stuff that came
There's-
out on Netflix, but like
Yeah,
the
like there's
new
2 or
Godzilla
3,
minus
right?
one. Oh, that movie fucked.
Yeah, the new Godzilla versus Kong stuff I haven't seen.
Okay,
Because
I
my-
was asking about both of them. The new Godzilla versus Kong, I think, is on Netflix now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a watch. It was definitely a really good, entertaining movie.
Mhm.
Story wise, like as far as all the characters around Godzilla, like was like the same thing as if you're comparing like the story to Jurassic Park. Like you're watching dinosaurs and then somebody yelling in the background. Like
So a
there's not
Godzilla
really
movie.
you're not really watching anything for outside of like the main reason you're there. But I thought the Godzilla versus Kong films were actually pretty good.
All right.
Okay, I like the first one, so I'm gonna check out the second one.
As far as the sequel goes to that storyline, I thought it was actually pretty good.
I'll have
It
to check them
actually
out.
it did a
Okay.
good job with world building as far as like the world interactions for Kong and for Godzilla, and then how they meet back up again. It was actually
Okay.
done pretty well.
All I'm saying is, if this isn't one just giant build up to a rampage, like a proper rampage movie,
I was about to say
Yeah.
they did that once.
I know it's terrible though. If like a proper rampage movie, then I'll be mad. Just like if all of these new Nintendo movies coming out and the building of Nintendo World out in the shithole of California.
The Mario movie was good.
But they have to bring it together for like a Smash movie. That would just be fun. I know the whole universe building is becoming kind of the main thing right now, but better than all them remaking all these new movies and failing hard.
Yeah, but the only issue with like doing a Smash movie is like if you include just the OG characters, like the fucking 18 starting characters from the original N64 game, like you then need to have a Link movie or a Zelda movie, and I don't want that in live action.
Oh, fuck you, I do. I've been wanting that for 20 years.
The Zelda movie parts that
I
I've
would-
seen look really good. I'm kind of
Anytime
really
they
excited
do
about
a
it.
pseudo thing, it looks
I
fucking
want
good.
a good fucking Zelda movie. Don't get me wrong, but live action movies have not been the greatest.
You just can't let it be a Netflix live action movie.
I think Nintendo would do it right. They
I
haven't
think Nintendo
failed
would
us
too.
yet.
And yeah, well, we got Sonic, we got Mario.
Yeah, but even with Sonic, the fans had a bitch to fucking get that done right.
yeah,
It's
but
also
they
not
now,
Nintendo.
oh, that's Sega. You're right.
like their biggest competitor in the early 2000s.
I was a Sega fan back then.
Early 90s.
Sure, don't show my age.
Hey,
We'll
man,
say
I was
early
all- I
70s
was all-
just to encompass everything.
I was all Sega until N64 finally like beat everything out with better games.
I was
I was on the Dreamcast pretty hard when the
Yeah.
64 was out.
I had the Saturn.
Yeah, I mean, all the Sega platforms I owned at one point. And I was very happy with a lot of them.
Yeah, I did 64, then Dreamcast, then 64, then PlayStation, then Dreamcast, and then I became a Microsoft fanboy and haven't turned back since. Although
Yeah, I
I'm-
never got into PS1. I didn't get into PlayStation until PS2 came out.
Same
See,
here.
PlayStation is the only PlayStation I've ever owned. I'm considering a 5, but that's only because there's a couple good games that I don't actually think are going to come out on PC eventually.
Eventually, everything makes its way to PC.
Eventually, everything's coming out on PC.
Well, Sony's saying that they're not going to put sequels on PC. So if I want to play Ghosts of Tsushima 2, gotta get a PS5.
Sony says a lot of things that they take back these days.
I was just about to say that.
You're not wrong, and that segues into one of our topics. Bungie laying off top staff and replacing them with Sony employees. They laid off a lot of other staff as well. Rest in peace. Hope you find great jobs. But the interesting part of this to me is the fact that Bungie, which started off as an Xbox, Microsoft only gaming studio, now owned by Sony, it basically got rid of all of their human resources, all of their quality control, all of that, and is Sony PlayStation personnel are being put in those positions to kind of, it's to save money on fees and stuff like that, but it's also Sony wants more control over Bungie.
When did Sony buy Bungie?
Like 6 months ago.
Oh shit.
I think the acquisition started a year ago.
Okay. I guess I overlooked it with all the other random acquisitions that have been going on in the past year or so.
It really wasn't a super big deal. Oh, we lost Dread Pirate. It really wasn't a super big deal, but because everyone kind of saw it coming, and it's not like Bungie's putting out Xbox only stuff.
Right. I mean, the console exclusivities have kind of started to trickle away. Everybody's finally at the point where crossplay is really just super more beneficial than exclusivities, and the gaming companies themselves are also realizing that they were only capping themselves by having exclusivities.
And
you eventually have to blast through the fucking the glass ceiling on that one. It was gonna happen eventually. It just was all about the gaming industry deciding this is when they I think it was just more about when they wanted it to happen.
yeah, Sony fought it for a little bit, but they're coming around. I think it was a push by Epic, which is surprising because I hate the Epic Game Store and I'm not a fan of most of the games they've made. But as far as a company goes, they're on their team.
Modern Warfare 3 is on Game Pass now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying
not to put it on the Xbox and play from my couch.
I mean, we can go back in and do fucking zombies. And then we don't have to pay for the fucking game again.
Oh, so they released the full game on Game Pass, not just the multiplayer?
It looks like the full game.
Hell yeah.
Yep, looks like it's a full Modern Warfare 3 game.
Yeah, I'll probably end up putting it on my PC because they have Game Pass for PC too. But and like, I'm not a noob. Mouse and keyboard's the way to go. But yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't been driven to play very many multiplayer games. I played a fuck ton of Once Human this weekend, and I enjoyed it. But
it's fun.
It's fun. It's just not really like, I don't know. It's not my bread and butter. I want to go murder things and turn it into Rust, and I don't think I'm going to get that, which is a good thing.
I'm interested to see how it is deeper into the game when you can, because like even when you do PvE, I learned this today. Is I don't fucking remember what button I pressed. I think it was P, and it turned on PvP, but it wasn't a permanent change to PvP. It was like, I think it lasted maybe 20 minutes. And then
I'm about that.
And then it let me go back to PvE.
I'm about that. But yeah, and then speaking of other games, the new Giant Helldivers 2 patch, still no Illuminate. Still not going to play until I see Illuminate. I want to kill Protoss, goddammit.
Okay. I'm kind of with you on that one. I actually took it off my computer about a month and a half ago and because I'm waiting for a new enemy.
You take things off your computer? Do I need to mail you another hard drive?
I have a laptop. I only have 1 terabyte worth of fucking space on here.
Bro, 2 terabyte NVMe is like $150. You can get a 4 terabyte for like 300.
The child in me is kicking my
terabyte.
own ass for not buying the 4 terabyte on Amazon during Prime Day sales.
I have a 4 terabyte. I just don't keep my games and stuff on there. I keep everything else on there.
Oh, is it spinning Rust? It's not SSD?
No, it's an SSD.
Okay. And as far as you go, Kickenbeans, it's go get the Micro Center House brand. It's always priced like that. and the one I pulled apart had Samsung dies on it, so it's essentially the same thing. But
We'll
yeah,
see what dead decisions are made in a couple weeks.
we do have a Micro Center trip coming up. Yeah, Giant Helldivers patch. They're adding more creatures to kill. Yay. They're making the Terminators harder. I'm not seeing anything that's super impressive.
You get a swamp planet now.
We had a swamp planet. They gave us a
There's
cape
always
for taking
There's
it.
there's a new swamp planet.
Yeah, I don't
Ooh.
need a new swamp planet. I was on the original one. I fought for the glory of democracy. I'm good now.
From what I've seen in the most recent bitch sessions on social media with the new Helldivers patch, though, apparently they've nerfed pretty much every gun.
According to this, they're balancing a lot of guns now.
They've said balance every single time they've balanced.
Yeah, they're nerfing.
I don't think they understand what balance means.
That's fair. I think they're close to understanding what their customer base wants. I don't think they're there yet.
I think the
Because we
customer
want
base knows
Illuminate.
what they want. I want Illuminate.
We don't need gun nerfs. We want a third thing to kill, or, and hear me out, a planet where I'm fighting Terminids and cyborgs.
We're just dropped in the middle.
Yeah, like they're having a battle and I have a mission where I need to go, like, I don't know, rescue a child or something. Like, make it cool.
Did you see they finally just gave us anti-tank mines too?
Yeah,
I just thought it was great. They're just like, we've tried to give it to you guys like 6 times now. Now just fucking take them.
The player base is falling off, which is
Well, that's
sad
true.
because it's a good game. It's just you kind of get tired of the repetition. You definitely need that third faction.
Mm-hmm. And what are we 6 months into this game?
Good
Oh,
question.
more than that.
We don't have our trusty AI bot to answer this. It
came out-
is February. So yeah, 6 months. 6 months, almost on the day.
So
I mean, it had
think-
such a strong start, but yeah, it's pittered off quite a bit.
And it does suck that like it pitted off when the Sony debacle happened.
Well, there's still countries that can't log in.
Right. And that really sucks.
Yeah.
But like you said, still a fun game.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
the only thing that kind of sucked is like so I probably took like a month break from it, and then I went to go dive back into it, and I kept playing first person shooters in that month that I got away from it. But when I came back to it, I was definitely not as good as I was when I left off. Like, I got stumped hard. I had to drop like 3 difficulties just to kind of get my feel for it again, to like slowly work my way back up.
That's
And I
not a
feel
bad
like-
thing.
No. And they do change, and anytime they do any of these, like, because most of their major updates are pretty big updates for what they are. There's a good chance they change the difficulty of almost everything that you fight to by the time you jump back in.
Yeah, and that's possible.
So let's keep it on the sad news of layoffs. We burned through this next one. Intel lays off 20,000 personnel. Rest in
Yeah,
peace, Intel employees. I hope you find a good job at AMD and you bring up their market share.
Yeah,
Yes.
Intel is having some fucking problems.
Oh yeah. Between like their
Aren't there-
processor issues, between their fabs not being able to keep up with TSMC, and this
Their
new
decision,
processor or this new layoff setup.
yeah, and their decision to start solely focusing on AI development, and really took a big step away from a lot of shit.
Now, how do y'all feel about this a lot of these tech companies focusing more on AI? I mean, like,
It's the smart fab if you
Yeah.
want to make a bunch
A-
of money right now.
Apple's
In
doing
5 years, it'll be gone and they'll have to find something new.
the next generation, because I was like, after last week, you were talking about upgrading your phone soon. I also started looking into it because we've had our phones about the same amount of time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've decided on what I'm getting, so which is
I
actually
was
a downgrade from what I have now, but I'm good with it.
I was looking at the flips, but
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
looking at.
I mean, the Flip 6s are really nice.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I can do most things without ever having to open the fucking phone.
It is markedly a downgrade from I have a S21 Ultra, and it just apples to apples. It is a downgrade, but it takes up less space in my pocket. I don't game on my phone. I don't need a high end processor, and I literally
Right.
check text messages and send you two dumbasses some memes every once in a while.
Right.
I'm big in photography with my phone, so like that's the only reason I still have like a high-end phone. It's just because the camera quality is just really nice.
What
Yeah.
phone do you have?
Right now, I have the S21 Plus.
And the camera on the Flip is the same. It's
It's a 50 megapixel.
yeah, it's a smaller processor or not as powerful processor, not as powerful graphics card. And then a little bit less battery life, but I only charge my phone like every 3 days anyway. So, oh no, I got to add a day in. But it's still the 50 megapixel main shooter. It comes with the new updated Samsung effects that you can do, which actually help the camera a lot versus just raw image. And it comes with like the drawing app that I like. So it's meeting all my requirements.
Yeah. I was really trying to talk myself into doing the Google Pixel Pro, but apples to apples, just the Google Pro versus the Samsung Plus, not even the Ultra, but just a Plus, like the camera quality is just so much better. The Google phones focus way too much on software editing that the pictures look great, but I still like having an original photo that looks good that I can manipulate later.
I have a me problem with the Pixels. I want to love that phone every single time I've ever had one. My thighs already sweat. I have giant thighs.
They get hot.
They get hot for no fucking reason.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, it's an actual problem, and it's one of the few problems other than the camera stuff. I would love to have a phone that doesn't have all of Samsung's bullshit on it, but Samsung's bullshit is what I know, so I'm gonna stick with it because I don't want to learn something new, and I'm too lazy to baseline my Galaxy with just Google, with just Android. Because there's just extra things involved with updating and stuff like that I don't want to deal with. I already got to deal with that on this fucking thing. So
Fair. I mean, and going on to the subject I was bringing up was all the new phones are every new product that Samsung is putting out automatically has a Samsung AI or Google, whatever the AI program they have is.
yeah, my last update gave me the AI. It's actually not too bad. It's not invasive.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Okay,
super
that's
worried
good.
about it. And you could individually select which things you want the AI to have access to by app. It's kind of annoying because you have to go in and individually select yes if you want to play with it, but it defaults to no and it's individually selected. So like the only AI features I would use would be like for images or the drawing app. Other than that, maybe fix my spelling because I'm a terrible speller even with autocorrect.
Yeah,
But that's really about it.
Talk to text has been a really nice feature.
Yeah.
It's been around forever now, but it's finally gotten to a point to where it's really crisp and accurate.
I'm also kind of interested to see because I was looking at the Samsung Buds 3.
So
Yeah.
I
That
had a
finally-
pair of the Samsung Buds Pros, the second ones.
I have the Pros, the first
Big
Pros.
fan. Big fan.
Not a fan of the first Pros.
Second one's so much better.
Just so you know, the new Samsung Galaxy Buds got delayed due to quality control issues.
So the twos are really good.
just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but they so the two things. It supposedly the AI when you have them in your ear, is they're finally starting to put the programs in there to let them translate in real time, like so many different languages that it has programmed into it.
Well, you could just put that on your phone, and it'll take the Bluetooth microphone, translate it,
Mhm.
and then play it through the Bluetooth earphones. Samsung already has that built in.
Oh, okay.
The new headphones, it comes on the headphones, but it still needs to be connected to your phone for a Wi-Fi signal and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But it's nothing new. That's also the reason I want to do the flip, is because you can do the little like L shaped thing and talk to it, and it'll translate in real time as well.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was looking at that too. That's another reason why I thought the flip would be cool to have.
Yeah, and that way you're translating both directions, not just you spewing some nonsense and them looking confused while you
Mhm.
completely understand them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that feature on the flips.
It's just Google Translate. The flip
That's-
is just a unique. The flip and the fold can be the L, and it has the screen on the other side. So like you'll say something in English, it'll translate it to say Thai, and they can read it, and then when they talk, it'll translate what they're talking into English so you can read it, and you have a real live conversation that way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when you turn it in the L, it's like the old whatever the Game Boy was, where you have
BSP.
the top and the bottom
Yeah.
can be two separate screens.
I gotcha.
That is one of the few Game Boys from the olden days that I still own, and it's because I have the mod to make it a boost gauge. Just need a car with a turbocharger.
I think I have two of those laying around somewhere.
Send me one, because you could also make it like a fuel pressure gauge and all kinds of crazy shit.
I've seen it before.
I've had them
I'm not
bolted
hating
to
on
like 9 cars as dashboards.
I'm not hating on it at all.
You could do it. It's cheaper than buying the Cobb tuners that you put on your little fucking windshield, like on my old Subaru.
Oh, on the Subarus.
Dude, nowadays
Yeah,
you
but
just buy a digital gauge cluster. They're like $300. They're cheaper than those old what were those really colorful gauges? Like Power or something? I don't remember. Back in the day.
Oh, you're talking about the AE.
Not AEMs. They were between AEMs and DeFi's.
PowerTechs.
PowerTechs. Going back to the old ways.
Yeah.
That was get the gauge cluster on the A pillar.
Yep.
And 9 times out of 10, the bitch didn't fit, so you had to figure out a way to make it look nice.
You fucking use drywall self screws.
You just sticker bomb everything. That way it doesn't have to line up. If there's 1,000 seams, then no one notices the one.
But those digital clusters are fucking badass. The only not downside for us, because it's what our hobby is, but the only downside to the mass market is like you have to program every little nuance in it. You have
but
to
it's
tell
super
it
easy now.
It still takes quite a bit of work.
If you run the converter
just
box,
a learning curve.
Yeah, either you run the converter box and it pulls factory ECU signals, and then it literally will just be like, these are your options. Pick which ones you want and put them on the screen where you want them. Or if you're running a standalone, then it's literally checks, and then you could set up your own splash screen and all that stuff. They've gotten way better than they used to be.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've played with one, and I had a lot of fun with it, but it took me hours to get one set up.
Nah, nowadays, because you could set it up now on your laptop and then just literally tell the ECU that's what you want to see, and it'll pop up. So you could sit on your couch. You're not sitting in your driver's seat, cussing at your laptop for having low battery. Tuner boy problems. And you don't need a fucking serial cable anymore. They take USB like the current modern world.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I played with one.
While he's gone, let's stay on the topic of vehicles. The Toyota V6. This is wild reading about.
There's no fix for that fucking manufacturer build range. They're just putting brand new engines in it now. Their recall is just a voluntary full fucking engine swap.
Yeah, and so listeners, all three of you, understand what we're talking about. The new Toyota Tundra would recommend do not buy. And the issue is the motors are just blowing up. They're just popping.
So the manufacturers where the engines were made, one manufacturing plant specifically, I don't know the details right offhand, but they did not do a good job of cleaning the engines out from stall to stall when they were installing bearings and crankshaft and all that. So there's material and particles that are in the engine bay in the engine. So when it got fully assembled, they ran oil through it. You have metal shards essentially that's running through it that is just blowing up the engine because there's such small clearances between all moving pieces in these engines now that the smallest fucking granular metal shard will fucking gouge everything inside of that system. And there's thousands of tiny shards in every fucking motor that came out of this plant. So now they've just finally said, fuck it, doing a full recall across Toyota and Lexus for this specific engine that's the turboed V6. So if you three listeners that are watching happen to own one of those vehicles, go to your dealership, reach out to them because you're going to get a brand new motor that
That sounds like
that is under full warranty.
Not far off of what happened to Kia when I was working for them
Yeah,
back in like 2016.
Kia was moving short blocks though, and paying someone to just replace a short block. Toyota is literally like unbolt from transmission, unbolt engine mounts, put in new motor.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around. You get new alternator, everything.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You disconnect hoses, unplug connectors, whatever sensors are on that engine, stay on that engine.
Yeah. And then you mail it back to Japan so they can do an engineering review on it.
Oh, they know the problem. They're not shipping that shit back to Japan. They're shipping that shit back to the plants, disassembling everything, cleaning it, and then rebuilding them.
Mm-hmm.
And then selling remand units when this warranty recall's over.
I ain't against it. You know you're going to see them in drift cars. They're good motors if they can hold together.
I mean, they did amazing with the fucking Supra engine.
Well, that was BMW.
50-50.
I'll admit that the new Supra has an amazing suspension. It feels way better than the M4 and the Z, whatever the new Z is. Because the new Z is, I think, just a Supra, or the new Supra is a Z with new body panels and a Toyota tuned suspension. But I'm way more impressed with the Supra suspension. Saying that, it's going to be whatever one I could find cheaper because I'm putting coilovers on it. Because wheel gap is like pussy. The more fingers you could stick in, the worse off you are.
Oh.
That escalated. Yeah, so
Here all
their
night.
the 2024 Nissan is just called the Z.
No. The BMW Z. They're like Z4 or whatever it's called. Yeah. Not Nissan. I do want one of the new Nissan Zs as well because they're ridiculous and they're significantly
They're just
cheaper.
calling it Z?
Yeah.
Huh.
But not in Japan. It's still the Fair Lady. I just want them to bring the Fair Lady here.
The problem is, like, when they called it the Fair Lady, it kind of looked like a lady.
Yeah, they look like a Porsche. They did the same thing Mazda did, and they just ripped off
nice
Porsche.
Curves.
Yeah, they all had nice curves back in those. Well, most of them had not.
I mean, back in the day,
the 80s were very rough.
Back in the day, we liked them boxy.
Yeah,
we did like them boxy. Yo,
those angles were sharp, but they still had some curve.
What did I see the other day that was behind me that had flip-up lights?
I miss flip up
So-
lights. Nissan's talking
some-
about bringing the Sylvia back.
Some manufacturer, I think it was Toyota behind me. It had
And
flip-up
Mazda
lights.
is also talking about their new sports car that they're going to be putting out, bringing back the flip-up headlights.
Nice. I thought you were gonna say
Right.
rotary, and I was like, I don't want it. They fucked the RX-8 up too much.
That Renesis motor was terrible.
I've never owned an RX. I've owned one RX-7. I've never owned an RX-8, and I think I've rebuilt a dozen Renaissance motors. Not as a professional mechanic, as like a bring it to my garage, I will get you rolling again.
Well, they commonly flooded if you didn't know how to shut them off, which
Nobody
think-
does because they didn't fucking
they
teach
don't
anybody
explain
in the
it to you.
fucking
They don't
dealership.
explain it to you before you buy the car. They tried to get it. Did everything to get better gas mileage. They focused on torque because they had to, because they added about 3,000 pounds to the car. And then and
Was
they
it the-
cared more about efficiency. That was never an efficient vehicle motor.
Yeah, no
It was
shit.
meant to be a fucking jet engine.
The RX-8 R3s, I think it was, came with a factory turbo timer. No turbo. Just so it wouldn't flood.
They're useful for those.
Yeah. So you got to let it idle for like 30 or 40 seconds. Oh, you're too retarded to read the user manual? Okay, we'll install this $20 turbo timer so that you don't got to deal with it no more.
I
Well, yeah.
mean, that's like the first modification you do when you own an RX-7.
Yeah. That and plugs. Because they're bad. They just are. But yeah, back to the V6. I'm excited again selfishly for this because in the next few years I'm going to do another drift car. I've just decided that's going to be like my 40th birthday present to myself.
Mhm.
And if these things are cheap on the open market from Toyota as a reman motor, I'm going to throw one in a 240. just
All
because 2JZs are like 12 grand right now.
Hey, I'll help you build that fucking front frame and engine mounts.
Dude, it'll probably plop right in. There's not a lot of room in the new Tundras. And there's a lot of room under a 240. If you could fit a fully dressed turbo LS, you should be able to fit this little twin turbo V6.
I'm sure you could, and they're not making them that big.
Yeah. They're very nice and compact because they also put them in a Lexus SUV. Okay,
A
so
whole lot of plastic though.
last really controversial topic we have for tonight. Have you guys looked into Razer's new keyboard?
Yeah.
I've seen a picture of it. Let me look that up right now.
It looks
So-
like a keyboard. I shot a video to Scorch in the Discord in topics. If you want to look that up real quick, it's like a quick down and dirty 5-minute video. Of
I'm
what
just
they're
going to
doing.
Razor.com.
I hate how controversial this has become for what seems like to me a very simple
Sure.
idea
So
of a simple execution of an idea.
it's controversial because back in Counter-Strike days, you could run a
Alright, which
script.
one are you talking about?
Where is it? But back in Counter-Strike days, you could run a script that did this. And they banned the script because you were getting like 20% more headshots. It is anything with null bind. Any Razer keyboard with null bind.
I just tagged you to the little video of it.
But yeah, so Counter-Strike banned this in tournament play back when Quake 3 Arena was a thing. Quake 3 Arena banned this in tournament play. It was a big deal. In probably half the modern FPSs that exist now that are tournament played, this is going to do nothing because the game engine won't support it anyway. But
Oh, is it where you strafe side to side super quickly?
that's one of the things you can do. There's a
Okay.
lot of things. The purpose of it is when you move, your hitbox is like this, and when you're staying still, your hitbox is real small. So if
Uh-huh.
you use this keyboard correctly, which is actually pretty natural function if you're trying to strafe shoot people, you could basically tap the opposite direction and it forces your shooting field down to your standing field because you went from running to standing almost immediately. So it's
Okay.
making a skill that a lot of people work a lot of time on just a natural thing that you're going to do. So
Mhm.
unless they ban this keyboard in tournament play, we're going to see every single tournament player switch to this keyboard because
Okay.
they're at an active disadvantage if they're not. Which, high five Razer, I guess. I mean, I wish you would ship me a product that fucking worked. But
Right.
and mind you, I'm the only one that seems to have this problem. Every Razer thing I've owned has broken at least once. I've rebuilt this keyboard 3 times and I'm planning on doing it again this week.
Just buy a new keyboard at this point.
I
You
really
spend
like
more
this
in
keyboard. I really like its feel, the clickety clacks. It's great. I have not found another keyboard that makes my finger feel as orgasmic as this one, but I have to rebuild it like every 3 months.
Yeah, so I mean, I
mean,
definitely understand the premise behind it in tournament play as far as the issues that it comes with. The the controversial part of it, I guess, is currently as it stands, you go buy it off the shelf and you plug it in and you start using it. It's all done in the hardware of the keyboard.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
nowadays, all modern Razer products are fine tuned with software.
that's
This is
So
true.
that's what makes this controversial is at tournament play they could run programs that tracks anything you're doing special on your keyboard
right.
because it's done in software. They can't with
So
this at all. It'd be like banning a mouse type. They're literally just they're either gonna have to embrace it and every company's gonna come out with some kind of null bind,
Mhm.
or which I'm down for, or they're gonna have to just ban this option on a keyboard outright and leave it back up to more user skill. I'm down for them just allowing it. I don't do tournament play anymore. I
Mhm.
haven't since Quake 3 Arena. No, that's wrong. I tournament played Counter-Strike Source. I did pretty good in there. I won a couple $1,000. Um,
yeah, the last tournament game that I played in that aspect was Overwatch.
Fair. Dude, we should get back into Team Fortress 2, but I digress. But
Taking it back in the olden days.
it's the servers are still up. Um, but with this, it's you're gonna see just Razer make buku dollars off of every FPS tournament team that this is gonna affect. So you're looking at Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Team Fortress 2. The ones I've seen that it doesn't really work well on due to engine is Halo and Modern Warfare. But people aren't like strafe shooting in Modern Warfare like they did in Counter-Strike. In Counter-Strike, if you could click on a head with this kind of technology, you're gonna do fine. You're gonna click on heads every fucking time. Because you're
Okay.
not worried about spread anymore because literally you just flick the other direction. You're no longer moving. Your shot
Mhm.
group shrinks in 2 or 3 frames. You're getting 10 to 15 frames better accuracy and being able to get a shot off 10 to 15 frames faster than somebody without this keyboard. Get an accurate shot off.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I might pick one up because they're not too pricey. If I remember right, I think they're like $120. I might pick one up just to play with it. I don't like that style of keyboard. I have one at work, not a huge fan.
The
But
10
Mhm.
keyless.
well, it's not 10 keyless, it's a 60%. So 10 keyless would be like an 80%, I think, maybe even a 90.
Okay.
But
I thought they were the
it's
same.
essentially a micro keyboard. And I don't expect either of you guys, to know the differences in keyboards. I've gone way down this rabbit hole. Because the first time my Razer keyboard broke, I was just going to build a new one. And then I realized, oh, I could spend $200 or I could spend $15 on the part I need.
Nice.
Yeah. It is. God damn it, Razer. Why does your shit not come up when I Google Razer keyboard? It's not
Dude,
like
I'm
the
on their
first
main
link.
website and it's also not popping up.
Yeah, I was trying to find that shit too.
It's not the Huntsman.
No, the new Huntsman though will start carrying it though.
Well, that's good. Maybe I'll grab a 10 key. That's my preferred keyboard type. But yeah, so this I'm excited for it just because I think it'll be kind of cool.
Mhm.
But we're definitely gonna see this thing get banned or 100% embraced. See, even on their new keyboards, they have this stupid fucking volume knob that breaks every 3 months. It's the same volume knob I have that I have to take apart and clean and like fuck with the sensor every few months.
Well,
Damn it,
I
man.
have that same volume knob on my Logitech keyboard and I've never had an issue with it. So it just sounds like Razer keyboards
No,
suck.
it's 100% a Razer problem, and it's probably 100% a me problem because it took me like 4 months to figure it out. I had to turn it off in software, and it took me 4 months to figure out how to fix it so I could have a volume knob again, which is the whole reason I bought this keyboard is I like having a volume knob. It's useless now because I have a media deck, and that controls my volume. But I still like having it there because it looks cool. I like the little glowy circles with the pretty lights. But
I
yeah,
get that. I like having the RGB keyboard.
yeah, I don't ever use it. It just stays on one color, but I get to choose the color, and that makes me feel happy.
Right,
I'm in
and
the same
that's
boat.
kind of where I'm at with that one.
Like it,
I'm in the exact same boat.
I don't get
And also,
unicorn jizz, so
I'm
every
not.
once in a while I'll
I'm
turn on the starry thing. When you click them, they like burst in the colors or the ripple effect, but only when I'm being bored.
mine just randomly changes. I leave it on that one, but like, and here's the thing: I don't need all the colorful keyboard lights. I would be happy with just white keyboard lights. But
See,
there's not as many laptops in between like the ones that don't have them and the kind of laptops I buy.
and the function of that,
They just assume we all like colorful things, which is not too far off the point.
no, it's a cost cutting measure, surprisingly. As soon as you start doing RGB by key, it's
Mm-hmm.
cheaper to buy RGB LEDs than it is white LEDs. And
Okay then.
I can go down a whole rabbit hole about blue LEDs. Blue LEDs are actually a recent invention. It took scientists like 40 years to figure out how to make LEDs turn blue. It's interesting documentary I could shoot you if you want to get into it, but it's like an hour and a half of like this scientist in Japan had an idea and he was fucking wrong, and then this scientist in Austria had an idea, and there's a whole apparently it's a whole engineering feat that they did. Um, but yeah, it's 100% a cost cutting measure. When you are just running like 10 LEDs in the back, then a single color is cost effective. But when you're running by key LEDs, RGB is more cost effective. And then once the software is written, they don't have to fuck with it anymore. It's basically a free product they push out.
Okay.
Um
So it
less
seems like it's just the Huntsman line that has the snap tap keys in it at the moment.
well
It
cool,
looks
maybe
like
I'll buy a Huntsman.
it's the Pro, the 10 keyless Pro, and the Pro Mini. And instead of the like long wide scroll wheel, it's got the singular scroll wheel.
I'm gonna go play with one of these because looking at the photo of the V3 Pro, it looks just like the keyboard I have now, except brushed aluminum instead of black. I
Dude, so
do not see a difference.
the keyboard I have has a brushed aluminum finish to it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I love it.
Well, if I have the brushed aluminum finish, I'll be more inclined to buy new keycaps because nothing matches with black but black. But yeah, all the volume knobs, everything's in the same spot. It looks like they updated like your num lock indicators to something glossy. But other than that, it's basically the same keyboard visually. Yeah, if it's got the clicky clacks, I might pick one up. I'm gonna have to play with this at Micro Center.
It looks like it does have the clicky clacks.
I mean, it's Razor. It'll definitely have the clickety clackities.
Yeah, I have Razor
Clackies.
green switches, and except for my WASD, I have Razor red switches there. Or if they're optical, I can make the clickety clackies exactly what I want. Right. On to a new topic because we've talked too much about the clickety clackies.
The clicky clackies.
Let's burn through 3 more rest in pieces. Game Informer shutting down. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, that's our childhood there.
Kinda. It was never great.
But we still.
No.
I mean, Nintendo Power was way better.
I got my hints off the internet on sketchy websites like an adult when I was a child.
I mean, I
You were
did
an
that too.
adult while I was a young adult.
How do you think I made it through the water temple for the first time? I used the original Google.
Yeah, bro, do you guys remember the cancer that was Cheat CC?
Yes.
It's like, I really want to know how to get through this section, but also I got to be willing to sacrifice my computer to spyware.
I brought up Game Shark to some dude recently, and you could see like his brain go into a blast from the past moment.
Core memory unlocked.
Yeah,
Dude, Game Shark was
the original
shit.
Game Sharks.
But Game Shark also got sketchy when they started doing it by file code that you had to just like download and install.
Yeah,
Like that shit started getting mad sketchy.
and fucking and then what was it? Grand Theft Auto came around, and they're just like, we're just gonna put the cheats into the game.
Yeah, because they know everybody's gonna fucking mod it, so they just gave everybody full mods.
Yeah, but before that like that was the first time you really saw the cheats being input, like other than like one cheat in the whole fucking game.
Was there cheats for GTA 5?
Yes, there was cheats for cheats for the original like GTA 3 I think had cheats. I think GTA 2 even had cheats you could do.
Yeah, no.
GTA 2, the top-down view one, had cheats in it.
Yeah, so and then that's when you really saw the beginning of cheats coming out that's already been coded into the game. Instead of having to get this stupid fucking disc or cartridge, that was the half the price of an actual game itself.
Dude,
which for us back in those days was a lot.
The Game Shark disc was always comical, especially on like the OG PlayStations, because it was a whole kit. Because you had to put like the fucking extra long spring in your PlayStation. You had to fucking run the disc, open the lid with the long spring, so it kept the little fucking button depressed, and then put your game back in, close the lid, fucking reboot it. It was such a fucking stupid process just so that we could run cheats on the game.
The cheats in GTA 5, you unlock them by calling people.
Yeah, that's what it was. You do go into your cell phone and you put them in there.
Yeah, you put in specific phone numbers and you get the cheats. That's cool. I'm about it. I can't believe I beat that entire game without using any cheats. I didn't even think about it.
Well, from what
But also
using cheats means there's certain things in the game you cannot get anymore, like certain I think certain endings or certain quest lines that you can no longer go achieve.
Fair enough.
At least that's how the earlier Grand Theft Autos were. Like the moment you used to cheat, it was like now there's a bunch of stuff you can't do anymore.
There's a whole bunch of end game stuff that you'll never get that's part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Holy shit.
So
memory.
Game Informer's final issue is called The Final Level. 33 years. Holy shit.
That was most of our lives, boys.
I just turned 34.
Most of our lives
I just
so
turned
far.
35.
I'm turning 38 this year. You guys are making me feel old. You guys are a bunch of degens hanging out with my old ass.
Fucking our robot wouldn't even know what the fuck this is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Wasn't it his topic?
Yes. He probably brought it up so that he could just rub it in our face.
Probably.
And he's not even here.
And then Antitrusts. So
I don't know much about this one.
I don't either.
So a couple weeks ago, the U.S. put out an antitrust lawsuit against NVIDIA for their market share of AI hardware and graphics cards, which is good and bad. They're just going to make NVIDIA split up, which means we might actually get like, I'm not saying NVIDIA graphics cards are bad, but I'm just saying they used to be leaps and bounds ahead of AMD, and they've gotten lazy. So them being their own graphics company again, might be a good thing. We might actually get what NVIDIA can actually do. And then AI gets cut off and we don't have to worry about that bullshit no more. So that's a current lawsuit. But the big one is Google lost an antitrust lawsuit for being the market shareholder of Googling things.
What?
So I don't know how they're going to split up a search engine. Like they got antitrust lawsuit hit for being the top search engine.
So Google's in
There's
the
got to be
process
more.
of
There's got to be
appealing it.
more to it. Because it's not like there isn't other
mean,
search engines.
There's definitely a lot more to it, but it is way above our pay grade.
Yeah.
It's fair. They all suck. I mean,
DuckDuckGo used to be good.
Firefox used to be good.
Firefox is still good. You shut your whore mouth.
Bing was never good.
Bing is good if you want porn. Legitimately, if you want to find some like weird old school adult entertainment that you haven't seen in forever, Bing is the way to go. Or if you just want to find like random celebrity titties, Bing does not hold back. They're not hiding that shit behind a paywall. You type in free I
Is
don't know.
Bing the adult stumble upon?
No, because you have to have the search function. You have to like know what
Take
you
it
want.
back to last week.
Yeah, but Bing is good for that and the if you need to write a delay notice, perhaps. Bing AI is really good at those.
I mean, just in my industry alone, like when I'm looking very small, specific, nuanced parts for vehicles to try and source them from local and afar, like Google is just so integrated into everything that it gives me the best result.
Or in your industry, anytime you can't figure something out, you Google it.
No, we YouTube it. There's a difference.
Try Bing
So
next time you're looking
Google
for something.
takes you to the YouTube part of it.
So-
no Google. Speaking of no Google, I'm not talking to you right now.
My
Hey
recent
Google.
my
Shut the
recent
fuck up.
movement into
Got my
Google.
headset anyways.
My recent movement or use of Google has failed me a lot. So I've been searching for other engines just because like I don't want 5 ads before a Reddit post. That's not going to answer my question. I want
But
the
it
top
is getting
3 things to be something I could trust to click on that might answer my question.
It is getting super added down. I can agree with you on that part of it because the first like 3 things are just like this is the sponsored website that has to do with what you're looking for.
I purposely, if I Google Home Depot, I will purposely scroll past the sponsored Home Depot post and not click on the sponsored Home Depot post.
Never. For anybody
Never.
that's watching us, never, I mean ever click on a sponsored link through Google. And it's not Google's fault. It is, but any of those sponsored links immediately take you to a paid site that is taking your information more than normal. And through those sponsored links, if you're purchasing a product because you went through a sponsored link, the prices can on average be higher than if you use a non-sponsored link.
Dude, Best Buy used to do something like that when I was living in
Fun fact of the
Hawaii.
day for everybody.
So when I was living in Hawaii, I can't remember what it was. It was something that I wanted to buy from Best Buy, and it was in stock at store. So I roll into Best Buy just to pick it up, and it's like $20 more than it was on my phone. So I pull up on my phone, and Best Buy is essentially a Faraday cage. So I got no signal, log into their Wi-Fi and look it up, and the price changed. So I walked out to the parking lot, screenshotted the online price, and came back in, and they were like, "Nope, in-store prices are in-store prices. We don't price match to our website." And I was like, "No, it says the price here is this," and they're like, "No, we don't price match to our website."
Why they're going out of business soon?
There's they're getting away from technology and going the Sears route and doing appliances. Which, if you need a good deal on appliance, Best Buy is kind of the way to go.
Yeah.
By a
As somebody
lot.
who recently did it, it's the way to fucking go.
Aren't they slowly moving towards online only too? I heard
No,
that like last
they-
year.
they've they've shortened the amount of stores, brick and mortar stores that they have throughout the nation, but they're
Mhm.
still staying brick and mortar.
Yeah,
Okay.
your town's not going to have 4 Best Buys anymore. It's going to have 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm honestly surprised that my town right now still has 2. I'm happy that it does because both fucking brick and mortar stores sell drastically different shit, which is frustrating sometimes. But
Very true.
we still have 2.
You can still walk into something without having to drive all the way into the bigger part of the cities.
And I mean, kind of like what Kane was saying, the 2 stores I go to here in my town, they price match. Like, I'll take an Amazon price in there and they'll price match it.
Oh, dope.
Eh.
That's really the way to go.
The only real need I have for Best Buy is appliances, and then everything else I go to Micro Center for. Or surround
fair.
sound, because Micro Center has a shit surround sound selection.
Best Buy has a really good home theater section.
Yeah.
They
The
do.
only downside for Best Buy is that in my town specifically, I have 2 really good brick and mortar stores that are mom and pops that are only home theater stores, and they have been successful for the past like 30 some odd years in this city.
Go them.
See,
Yeah.
all that money you're saving by not going to AMD, we can get you a 7.1.
I'll wait till the missus brings it up one more time on her own, and then I'm going full fledged with the credit card.
Dude, I got some Dolby Atmos rears for my surround sound, and they sound amazing. But I
Mhm.
uninstalled bookshelf speakers that I was using for my rears, and now I'm like, well, I have the speakers, so if I just upgrade my receiver from a 5.1 to a 7.1, yeah,
There's
Talk
no
to me,
use-
baby.
super
Talk to me.
tempting.
Speakers are best
Let's do it.
had to be listened to, not sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, the other flip side is I could also just buy another 5.1 surround sound receiver, and I have everything but the sub to do one in my bedroom.
Or by the 7.1, and then we take what you got to your bedroom and start with a 2.1, and then work our way to a 5.1 when more speakers become available.
I mean, in theory, we could go 4.1.
You're making my point.
Yeah, we could go. I have enough random speakers laying around. I also have a weird sub in the corner of my basement that I have not been able to get to play fucking sounds, and I cannot figure it out. It's pissing me off.
You have not expressed that to me. I'll come over and help you fix it.
It's not powered. That's what's pissing. I'm like, I should be able to just hook up fucking speaker wire and move on with my life.
Not always. If it's got capacitors in it, it might need its own power supply.
It doesn't have a spot for a power supply. No plug-in. It literally just has 2 speaker wire, the little clampy boys.
You might need some bigger gauge wire then.
I've tried. I tried running 10 gauge. Mind you, it was 10 gauge welding line, but I've tried. But it's still wire. It's what I had.
You're too smart for this.
In theory, it should work.
No,
Yeah.
no, it shouldn't.
Not
Theory.
Not even in theory. Like the spec sheet, there's not enough resistance on the line for it not to work.
That's what I'm saying. It's still low resistance metal.
But yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. So if I could get that to work, then I could have the 0.1. But also I have like a 22-inch TV in my bedroom, so it'd be kind of weird. Like the receiver would be bigger than my TV.
But I mean, it's also for the bedroom.
Yeah.
Do you
And
need more than 22 inches?
I could just buy a projector for the basement and move the 75-inch into the kitchen and move the 55-inch of the kitchen into my room. And then I don't need a closet.
All right, Scorch.
right.
On the flip side, we're probably going to turn the basement room into the master bedroom here in a few years anyway. So I'll have plenty of wall space because there's no windows.
Yeah.
He going full gremlin.
No, it's just a bigger room. It's a bigger room,
Oh, no,
bigger
it's
master
a
bathroom.
It's a big room down there.
Yeah, it's
A lot more private, and it also gives the house gremlin more space upstairs.
yeah, because he would end up getting the master as it sits now, and him becoming a teenager. I kind of want him to have the master because the guest bedroom smells sometimes, or the guest bathroom smells sometimes, because teenager smells. But yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to do to the house.
I don't know.
Have you even seen the movie yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I've also seen Deadpool and Wolverine.
I am so mad I haven't seen that yet. I just haven't had a chance.
Friday.
Let's go.
I'm down. I'm down. We can go.
It's a
I'm off
fun
Friday.
watch.
Not tomorrow because we have D&D.
I'm off Friday. I took Friday and Monday off.
We can do Friday. I could probably. I don't have any plans on Friday.
I can't do 12 to 3 because I'm getting fiber installed, but before or after
Fuck
that,
you.
I can do it.
I got like another year and a half before they'll put fiber in my fucking house. I'm so pissed off about it.
Dude, I signed up for that shit a year ago, and I finally get the fucking email and be like, "We're in your neighborhood. When would you like to set up the install?" I'm like, I gotta get on the phone with somebody. Y'all motherfuckers owe me some money.
Must start lighting houses on fire in my neighborhood so they quit thinking this is the poorest neighborhood and give us fiber.
Yeah, just bring that server over to my house. I got you, bud.
I seriously considering it.
I got a nice closet space right here where you can sit and stay.
No, seriously, because there's not a screen attached or a keyboard or mouse. It's literally remote log 100% of the time now, and it just sits under my desk. And it's not like the Plex server can push to you guys because my upload speed is like 20 fucking megabits a second because I got goddamn DSL or cable or whatever the fuck Xfinity's selling me. Fuck Xfinity. I kicked an Xfinity rep off my site the other day.
What stupid shit did they do?
He showed up and tried to sell us internet, and I was like, "You can eat shit. Get the fuck off my site."
Well, before we get too deep into our own personal shit, we should probably call it here.
Yeah, for sure. You can find us at The Depths of Jigoku on Twitter, X, YouTube, Spotify. Probably do an Instagram eventually, and it'll most likely just be photos of Dread Pirate's cat. If you
the stupid faces we make throughout the show.
Yeah, if you want us to expand a little bit more, I'm down for doing a Twitch stream, a game stream every once in a while. Just let us know in the comments. And then, yeah, hope everybody has a good day, good week. Thank you for listening. If you need help, reach out. If you don't like reaching out, use AI. It's really good. Fucking psychiatrists are going to be out of a job in the next 10 years. It's oddly really good. And take care of yourself.
Take care, guys.
20 seconds, everything looking good. We show altitude about 47,000 feet. Houston, I'm getting a little fluctuation in the AC voltage now. Roger. 50 meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.